What's up, guys? This is Carter here, Coin Mastery TV, coming at you live from a couch room. Just kidding. This is actually I'm in a really nice place, but this is the quietest room I could find, and audio is really important. So that's where we are. We're going to be in New York City the next few days. I should have an office there, but I really want to get this out because today, as you may know, is... I don't even know what you call it. Black Monday, Big Monday, Y2K, whatever. For any of the 5 of you in the world that don't know, tomorrow, August 1st, is when Bitcoin is going to split into BitcoinCash and Bitcoin Core, like Bitcoin Original. And we're seeing all sorts of crazy behavior because of it. So today in this episode, what I want to talk about is what's happening, the trends that I'm seeing, some trends to look out for, and a few things that I'm doing about it, some recommendations and some thoughts so that you can hopefully make an informed and profitable decision today and or tomorrow, right? Or even over the coming week or so. That's really what I wanted to talk about and get this thing going. So first and foremost, thanks to everybody for all your emails, comments, tweets. Like, this has been really cool and I really appreciate it. I'm going to get to everything over the course of the day, but I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of this. Really appreciate that, and I'm stoked to keep this going Monday through Friday and keep helping you guys out as much as I can. Okay, so let's open this up. We're obviously on Crypto Watch, and I mean the story is Bitcoin. I mean, nothing even comes close. Everything else, in my opinion, is really just sort of background noise, I should say, because Bitcoin is not only the thing that everybody is looking at and talking about and trading against. It's the trading pair of choice, right? Like Bitcoin, it drives the entire market. And so everything else that we see, the trends we see, you guys know I personally cannot do in-depth technical analysis. I mean, I can do a little bit, but nothing like the pros. I personally look at this and I do not think the technical analysis is going to give you any sort of helpful information from a trading standpoint. I think it can still give you some good trending information on how things are going, but I think that when you look at market forces like this, it's much better to study the people and the comments and the tweets and all that to try to piece together what's happening. And that's what I want to do today in this episode specifically. So I'm not really going to talk about all this stuff. Maybe a little bit later I'll talk about a few individuals, but what I want to talk about is Bitcoin, right? I mean, it's as of whatever 11 a.m. Eastern time on July 21st. It's at 27.91. Who knows? This has been going up all weekend. A little bit up and down, but consistently going up and up and up. The reason why is because everybody's buying Bitcoin, or at least everybody's moving their currency into Bitcoin. One of those two things is happening because by owning Bitcoin, as of tomorrow at, I think it's like 8:15 Eastern time in the morning or whatever it may be, when the block switches and the chain allegedly will go live, you will own an equal number of Bitcoin Cash for all of your Bitcoin that you currently own. So a lot of people are essentially hoarding Bitcoin, right? They're buying it up or they're converting their other stuff into Bitcoin. So you're seeing this, not only is the market cap getting a little bit bigger, but you're seeing all of these other coins go down because that money is being fueled into Bitcoin with the hopes that you'll double it and Bitcoin Cash may have some value that you could either liquidate or hold on to, and boom, that is worth more than if you had kept your original coins. All right, that is one of the big reasons why. The other big reason why, and this is just from doing the math, the top level math. If you look over at Bitfinex, right? So Bitfinex is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, exchange, especially for margin trading. And this was taken sometime today, maybe like Monday, July 21st at, I guess, 2:50 in the morning. I don't know what time zone that is, but this is the first time, I believe, ever where there are more shorts than there are longs on Bitcoin margin. That means more people are betting against Bitcoin, betting it's going to go down, than are betting it's going to go up. First time ever. And the reason where it gets complicated is because Bitfinex is actually going to credit people
who are shorting Bitcoins for the coins that are lent, they're going to give them a free Bitcoin Cash. And the reason that's really crazy is that this guy, I mean, kind of summarizes it in one tweet. If you short one Bitcoin, let's say you go out and you say, I'm going to go short one Bitcoin, right? You need to go borrow that Bitcoin from somebody to create that short position. However, if you buy your own short, you are now covering yourself, whether it goes down or whether it goes up, right? And you're also getting that free Bitcoin Cash. So let me explain that again. I'm betting that Bitcoins go down. So I go on to Bitfinex, I buy one short. I also go into Bitfinex and I take $2,700 or whatever, and I lend that to somebody who wants to go short. So now I own a long position and I own a short position. So if it goes up, the long position wins and the short position loses, but I end up, it's completely equal. Through that, I get one free Bitcoin Cash because I lent the money. I went long. I bought a Bitcoin, so I get a Bitcoin Cash. So when you look at this chart, you're seeing this massive short position growing. You're seeing all these people buying up Bitcoin, potentially just for the cash. And that's why when you look at the Bitcoin price, you see it going up and up and up. It may just be artificially inflated because of this particular reason. Now, there's no necessarily a causation. This isn't a direct correlation, but this makes a lot of sense. I mean, 44,000 Bitcoin short. I mean, it's like 120 million bucks. That's enough that that could seriously impact the price and at least the direction. So, what does that mean for you, or what do I think that means? I think that Bitcoin's price, as it stands right now, and as it stands up until tomorrow or through tomorrow, is that it's really overpriced. I mean, I read a lot of people on Twitter and Facebook and Quora and all these things who think that Bitcoin is going to go up to like 5,000 tomorrow because everyone's going to dump their Bitcash and then Bitcoin's going to go through the roof. I'm not sure it's going to happen that quickly, personally. I think that Bitcoin is really high right now because of people want to get that Bitcoin Cash, and I think things may change tomorrow in a different way. All right. So because of that, I have kept half my Bitcoin as it stands. I basically have, let's say, 70% of my coins are in the big ones, right? Like it's basically Bitcoin, Monero, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Like that's really my main coin. That's in like 9 cold storages locked up. I never touch that stuff. In my trading account, which I trade a little bit, but not like daily by any means, maybe like once a week if it's a volatile market, I have liquidated my Bitcoin positions in my trading account. I still own a bunch in my big account, but I've liquidated in my trading account because I am not sure that this price is going to hold. And so what I did is I turned that Bitcoin, and I bought a little bit of altcoin, which I'll talk about, but I moved it into US dollar, the tethered dollar, which you can do on Bittrex, right? So I'll put up Bittrex here. If you scroll down to the bottom, these USDT markets, that's tethered US dollars, which means that it's kind of a way to, like, it follows the US dollar. So it's kind of like having currency, but it's already in crypto. So you don't have to move it back to fiat, which there's a variety of reasons for that, why that's a good thing. And so I cashed out however many Bitcoin into fiat. I put it in my fiat wallet on my computer, or my US tethered wallet on my airdrop computer, so that it's safe and secure. Nothing's on the exchange for the most part. Pretty much everything has been pulled off, just because who the hell knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But that's the reason why. Obviously, I still own a lot of Bitcoin just in case, because I'm going to own that for 5 years. Like, I don't really care. I think over the long term, this is obviously going to go way up, but that's my first move. That being said, right, like this parlays into looking at Bittrex, right, which is always the next thing I do, where you look through the actual markets in the Bitcoin pairings. A few things to keep in mind. One, these prices are going to be not only affected by the buying behavior of these individual altcoins, they're going to be dramatically affected by the price of Bitcoin. So if the price of Bitcoin plummets, the price of altcoin will probably go up. Now the relative price, the fiat price, will also go way down, because like the whole market's going to go down, but your relative buy low, sell high could go up very dramatically. So if you believe Bitcoin is going to go down, which I particularly do, I could be completely wrong. If I am, it's still going to be fine because I still have Bitcoin. If I'm right, I'll have a big buying opportunity. If you believe it's going to go down, you will probably want to buy altcoins today, tonight, or early tomorrow, or like very close to when the thing goes live. Because when it drops, the altcoin prices are going to be marginally more expensive. They won't be worth more. They'll just be a better bet against Bitcoin. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. And then you just really look through this, and you know, everybody's got their own individual coins. I wish I could tell you which ones I think are going to do better or worse than others. Obviously, I can't. I have no idea. Like, I mean, you can do the math, but anybody who tells it that they know what the hell they're doing, it's a complete wash. I can tell you that I do think I really like Stratus, right? So I'm going to buy some Stratus. I think anything under 17 or 170,000 Satoshis is a really good buy right now. I think that what I'm looking at in particular is not the small stuff. I'm looking at the things that could go up and establish themselves as a new platform to compete potentially with Bitcoin. Because not only would Bitcoin drop, I think that there would be a void in the market for a big winner. I do not think that this is an opportunity for small altcoins to potentially go big. I think that this is an opportunity for a 8 to 20 placed market cap like Stratus, for example, or Ethereum Classic even, to move up considerably to being a real player, the same way Litecoin did. So I'm betting on a little bit on Stratus. I'm going to put a little bit on Ethereum Classic. I've resisted Ethereum Classic, but that is a very viable factor. I do think that they have a shot. I think AntShares also has a shot, even though I personally don't know as much about AntShares as I do about Stratus. I really believe in Stratus. It has the shot. It has the potential to do that, especially if BitcoinCash goes big on the Chinese markets. AntShares is big in China. That could be an interesting one. And in terms of Litecoin and Ethereum, I'm not really going to buy those just because I already own plenty of it, and there's no reason for me to fill up my portfolio with more. I do think that Litecoin has traditionally been a hedge against Bitcoin, so that may be one. A lot of people have talked about Waves as being a potential platform builder, like new thing. But I've used Waves. I've researched Waves. I'm not as impressed with Waves as I am with Stratus. So as you guys have seen, I mean, I've bought and sold Waves, made some money on it, but I probably won't go after that. Monero, I already own plenty of Monero, but I wouldn't. But I would probably buy more if I already didn't own so much. And I think OmiSgo, the OMG, it's getting a lot of attention from a lot of really, really smart people. People who have told me about that are people that historically have been really good at picking. So this has already gone up a lot. It's relatively new, relatively risky, but a lot of smart people are buying it. So OMG, I bought a little bit. I think that might be one worth looking at. You go to the second pages. This is when it just becomes like, I mean, if you want to get a good price on something you want to go big on. Civic, I already own a bunch of Civics, so I'm probably not going to buy more. Golem, same thing. Like these things have gone down a lot, but I think that they're, I'm just waiting for the market to shift and go back to the traditional situations, and that might be better. Same with where is it? Stellar Lumens. That's gone down from when I bought it earlier. I think this is smoke in price, so I would check those out, and then you can go from there. See what else is cracking on that and that sort of thing. One other thing that I thought was really interesting that people were bringing up, and I don't know if I agree with this, but I thought that this would be helpful to share. It may be a good idea to buy, or at least have the ability to buy coins that have both Bitcoin and Ethereum pairs. So, for example, Stratus does not have an Ethereum pairing, meaning it doesn't have so in Bitcoin market, there's Bitcoin against Stratus that you can buy. In Ethereum market, there is no Ethereum Stratus marketplace. Now, that's on most exchanges. You can go to something like Shapeshift or Changely and do it there, but that's not really an exchange, like a true exchange. Versus something like AntShares, which does have an Ethereum pairing, or Litecoin, or OMG, or whatever it may be. And the reason why is that if it has two pairings, it often has a little bit more of a price shield, right? Because it's harder for Bitcoin to affect that price. So even Stratus, one of the reasons why it has been one of the most volatile and most lucrative is because it's only paired to Bitcoin. So it may have bigger swings than something that's paired to both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and more practically, it might be easier if you want to get money in there to transfer in Ethereum and then buy with Ethereum than it would be to transfer in Bitcoin or things like that. So that's really what's going on, guys. I think that last thing that you can do is start to set different price floors on different accounts, right? Like you can go into Bittrex or Kraken or GDAX or Gemini, and maybe set some crazy low bid, right? Like put a bid at if Bitcoin goes down to 1,500, make sure you buy something, or it goes down to 1,000, or if Litecoin goes down to 25, or Ethereum goes down to 100, and just have those sitting there, because if you go to sleep, or if you're going out to lunch or something and it just crashes real fast, you at least have that safety net. So that could be something interesting to do as well. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think that I'll be up tomorrow watching this go down. We'll put out a video tomorrow. I think my big takeaway going in tomorrow is how can you have a plan that capitalizes on any particular situation happening, right? So I think the key is you're not going to get it right. So you can't bet everything on one thing happening. All you can really do is have a plan for any particular situation, right? So if tomorrow Bitcoin immediately goes up to 5,000, do you have at least a little Bitcoin so that you can ride that? Good. Let's say Bitcoin crashes tomorrow very quickly. Do you have some fiat or tethered dollars that you can use to buy it when it does crash? Same with everything else when it crashes. The answer is yes. Great. And then third, if everything just stays the same, do you have some altcoins that you are ready to buy into? Do you have a price set for those, or do you have a plan for which ones you want to double into? Because the market will go back up for the rest of the month because all this fear is going to be gone. So you want to be in something, because no matter what, everything will come back. There'll be more money that pours in once this whole thing is over. So all I would really recommend is make sure that if any of those three things happen, you can make a move on it. Right? Like everybody's going to get hit one way or another. No one is going to, no matter what happens, everyone's going to lose one way and gain another way. The trick is to make sure that you do have the ability to gain no matter what happens, and you'll take the loss on the other part of your portfolio, knowing that it'll eventually come back in one way or another. Right? That's really the best thing you can do, because just like nobody knows. Even if you're a hedge fund and you had insider info, you wouldn't know, because this is such a crazy world right now. So the best thing you can do is prepare for any particular outcome of these. All right. So this is Carter with Coin Mastery TV. Tune in every day this week on YouTube, on Facebook. Go to coinmastery.com and sign up. Make sure you join the newsletter, subscribe on YouTube, and tell your friends to come check this out. Best of luck today. I'll see you tomorrow, guys, and happy trading. Peace out.